Sisney's Diagnostic Service. We're a general automotive repair facility. We work on cars, light trucks. Logan Brown. He's basically my lead technician. He came in about 2 years ago, inquired about a job, and it worked out very good.
You almost got to be a gymnast to do this sometimes. I always had a knack for taking things apart and putting them back together, and kind of can look at something and tell how it goes apart and how it goes back together.
I was pleased to hear he had entered this U.S. Auto Tech National Championship.
Started off with an electrical test. We had to build a circuit and diagnose the fault in it. They went from 32 techs down to 16. The next 16 we had to remove U-joints out of a drive shaft. We had to spec them out, identify which U-joint we needed, and then replace them. And then from that 16 they went down to 5. Then the final 5. We were told there'd be a motor up there. We were told we have to do a compression test, a leak down test, and figure out what was wrong with the motor and repair it. And then we only had 2 hours to do it. Only 2 of us actually finished the third competition 100%. The guy who came in second, I thought he had first place, and then they called his name second, and I started freaking out. I don't usually get excited like that. That's actually my favorite picture. It makes me look like I have some kind of muscle there. I never thought there would be any kind of national platforms, kind of showcase our skills a little bit. Just kind of made it worth all these past 12 years I've been doing this, made it worth it.
We have just under 5,500 flags on all of the veterans in our cemeteries.
It was initially called Decoration Day, where the graves of Civil War veterans were adorned with flags. It has become Memorial Day.
As you look around and see all these flags, Memorial Day is something that's here with veterans 365 days a year and their families. It's a way for the living to recognize the legacy of our honored dead.
Well over 1 million have died in uniform, in service to their country.
They didn't volunteer to die, but they did volunteer to defend an idea, an ideal, and their countrymen. And we can rededicate ourselves to that cause.
This memorial service on Memorial Day pays tribute to those who fell. All gave some, but some gave all. It's something, but it's not nearly enough.
I don't know if we could ever honor them enough for what they've done for us. It's a sacrifice that many wouldn't take. Some would, but they did. And we're forever grateful to them.
Forever grateful for men and women willing to sacrifice their forevers.
Holding a service and paying tribute to all of them is very important this time of year, or any time of year.
The Hanover Area YMCA encourages healthy living, and no member embodies that more than Les Savino.
You don't really get the full effect of Les till you meet Les.
From 7:30 to 10 in the morning.
I have a routine. I go from one to the next to the next. And if you disrupt that, you spoil my day. That's 1:15. That's one set. I do 3 sets, 45 reps.
5 days a week, you can find Les here.
85-pound weight. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I lift weights. And Tuesdays and Thursdays is aerobic exercises.
He's here so often, they named the gym after him.
I'm embarrassed. I'm a humble fella. I don't want to say it, John. I don't want any notoriety. I just want to sit in my little corner.
I only got 25 years to catch up with you. So.
Right? I'll wait for you.
His friends have come and gone.
Well, we used to, but I've outlived them all, you know.
But since 1983, this room has been his constant.
I used to do a lot of work with dumbbells, but with my balance, if I pick up a dumbbell, I fall over. So I stopped doing that when I was 100.
Yes, Les is 100, past the century mark this August.
Exercising is the best healer there is, better than medicine.
He lives alone, drives himself here every morning.
And it's hard work. I don't look forward to getting up every morning at the crack of dawn to come in here and abuse my body, but that's what you have to do.
And Les knows a little something about hard work. Enlisting in the military, where he served as a B-17 pilot in World War II. Then a career as a food technologist until retiring at age 83. Les was married and raised 4 kids.
70 years. Her name was Barbara. She was my childhood sweetheart. We started dating when We were seniors in high school.
This Thanksgiving, he thinks of his Barbara.
My wife used to do all the cooking. She passed away 11 or 12 years ago, so now I do it.
But his kids think of him.
Now this year, my kids said, "Dad, you're not cooking the turkey this year. You're 100. What's that have to do with it?
At home or in the gym, Hanover's Century Man never uses his age as an excuse.
If I'm going to be living, I'm going to enjoy life. If I don't enjoy life, I don't want to be around.
A bad day on a golf course is still better than a good day at the office.
I've been golfing for a long time. It's about time I start to get good at it.
We have about 43 that are coming today.
40 golfers coming together.
Thanks for coming out
at Harrisburg Country Club this afternoon.
Learning how to play golf, maybe picking it back up, or if you're an advanced golfer, just getting a couple of tips here and there.
And then when you swing, if you can just keep that swing going more from the inside.
For a special set of golf lessons.
Already I learned something that I wasn't doing right because I got arthritis in my thumbs so bad, and I have to hold the club a special way.
Everyone here shares one common bond.
I retired with 39 years military service.
I've been in for 20 years. I deployed twice to Iraq.
This Veterans Golf program is PGA Hope.
Stands for Helping Our Patriots Everywhere. This is kind of our core mission, is to just get them out of the house and just get a club in their hand.
A game that demands total focus, helping vets forget some of the troubles of their service.
So they're not thinking about what happened overseas or what was going on throughout their lives previous to that 2 seconds that they're about to hit this ball.
When you get in a group like this, you have a tendency to share because they know where you're coming from, and it's good for the veterans.
The program meets for about a month in the spring and fall and is totally free for veterans or active duty military.
This is just a simple way to help my community, and that's what all this is about.
They served our country, and this is just a small portion of us giving back to them, giving them hope and showing them that we care about them.
In Harrisburg, Ali Barubi, ABC 27 Sports.
It changed the entire landscape of video games. When you talk about Pac-Man, it was something different that came along. The thing I really liked about Pac-Man in general, and it's not really the case with some of the other games from that era, is there's a total that you can achieve and the game is over. I thought that was a great challenge. I am Derek Sefcik, and I am now known as the 11th person in the world to ever get a perfect Pac-Man on an original arcade machine. My wife called me from the store and said, "Hey, I saw one of these mini arcade games." This is what I received in February 2021 as a birthday gift. Started playing on this, got pretty far. The high score is 999,090 on it.
I didn't think he was going to be a Pac-Man world champion, but I did think that he was going to enjoy the challenge of beating his score on a regular basis and getting better.
2 or 3 weeks in, I thought to myself, there's got to be a strategy here. All I'm doing is moving away from the ghosts, running from them, and if you can learn how they move, you can manipulate where they're at in position to where you are. So maybe about a month in, it hit me one night. Through the first 2 boards, the maximum possible score is 30,000 points, and I hit that. And I remember texting my family, they were upstairs, and I said, I'm going for the highest score ever. I'm gonna do this. There was a total of 256 boards. I wanted to get there by eating every ghost, every prize, maximum possible score that you can get. And that was it. I wanted to get to the end perfect on just one guy and get a perfect score of 3,333,360. After playing for a while, I realized that in order for a score to be authentic, you had to be on original hardware. Got the Ms. Pac-Man machine, dropped in an original Pac-Man PCB board. From Labor Day, it was about 10 weeks until I ultimately achieved my goal.
And I didn't realize how many hours he was actually doing it until when he almost beat it the one time and he said, "Oh, that was like 5.5 hours." And I realized how much time he was spending down there.
We're gonna go for it here. So it was November 14th, 2021. There we go. Everything just started to click. It was approximately 4 hours and 30 minutes. When you think of the number of games that have been played And the fact that there had only been 10 people that had ever done it before, that's an accomplishment in my book. To be able to say I'm one of 11 people in the world to have done something, it was just a great feeling.
All right, here we go.
We're at Downstown Area High School. We are with the cast and crew and pit of Mamma Mia. 2020, here we go again. March 13th, we got word. We were actually rehearsing. It was a Friday.
It was the age of no regret. Now you're working in a bank.
We're doing a run-through of the second act. All of a sudden, the directors were called out of the rehearsal, and they were like, just keep going, like keep running through it like we have been.
And we got word that school was closing down for 2 weeks in hopes that in 2 weeks' time we would be back and able to perform the show.
Bit more of the old Donna.
We went to the calendar and we're trying to say, okay, in 2 weeks, let's reschedule. Maybe at the end of April we can do this, maybe early May.
All right, Donna, you ready?
Yep.
Go for it.
This is gonna get pushed back for 2 weeks, or this is gonna be canceled, and it was just canceled.
And then as it started to become more and more apparent that this show was not going to happen in the spring or the summer or even the fall, because we had thought maybe we would do it in the spring of 2021. Our kids didn't feel it was right to do it without the original cast, and the other problem with Mamma Mia is it wasn't allowed to be streamed, so we opted to do 2 junior shows.
You want to build a snowman?
We did Frozen Junior
Rising in the east.
and Beauty and the Beast Junior, both of which were streamed. Some of these Mamma Mia kids were in those shows. Others graduated and went on their way.
And I was lucky enough to be Elsa in Frozen. And I remember finishing Let It Go and then silence. And it was really strange because that's a huge showstopper number that you would expect to get at least like, a little applause for.
And then it was time to choose our show for 2022. We didn't feel that Mamma Mia was the right show because the kids now had graduated, 2 years had gone by. So we chose a show that we could stream if necessary, and so we did Anastasia in 2022. While we were rehearsing this past January, we said, could we do this in the summer? Could we get it to happen? We sent out some texts. Little by little, we started to hear back from kids, and we thought that we could do this. So we have a little bit of a mixture. We have 11 returning.
I love that they're doing this for us because they didn't have to do any of this for us. They could have just been like, maybe we'll do it another year with another whole group of kids. And they were like, no, we want to bring you guys back. We want to be able to do this for you. Not everything has been lost, and we can get some things back or even create newer, better things out of what we lost back then.
Doris Fonestock feels at home.
It's a Singer Featherweight Portable.
Behind her beloved sewing machine.
I've had it since 1953 when my husband was in the service. He bought that for me 1 year for Christmas, and I made a lot of things since then.
In 2016, she got the idea to turn her passion into a way to honor those she was passionate about. Her husband had served in the Navy.
He was in electronics. I'm very proud of him. This is your finished top.
So she founded Doris's Quilters for Vets with a goal to make 25 quilts in 4 weeks to gift to local service members.
And the one girl said, that woman's got to be crazy. You can't do 25 quilts in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, we had 27 quilts made. Thank you all for coming.
From there's
about 14 bundles that you're welcome to take today.
The project has grown.
I've done the rows, and now I'm making the top.
And so has the Legion of Doris's Quilters.
I remember when we started out with 25 and was excited about that.
With each stitch, each swatch, creating a common thread of appreciation. They've given away more than 1,000 quilts to veterans in all 50 states.
Well, sometimes I get tears in their eyes, as do we, when we present the quilt, because they are so appreciative and couldn't believe that somebody would be willing to make something for them.
I think about people we've served with who are still perhaps paying the price for having served from injuries.
Karen Shirey has been with Doris from the beginning. Her husband, a retired colonel from Carlisle Barracks.
Frequently, they'll tear up and say thank you. That is our reward.
They find the vets through nursing homes, VFWs, VA hospitals, hoping to give them a physical reminder that their service is not forgotten.
Each one has a tag on it saying that this is from Doris's Quilters.
And we try and get a flannel. And the flannel makes it nice and warm so that they can use it in the wintertime. Dear Mrs. Fonestock,
Doris knows her quilts are warmly received.
thank you for caring for service members and showing your support. Thank you, and God bless America.
And well loved.
We gave it to a man, and he was in his 90s. He lasted 6 months, and we know that he used that blanket for those 6 months.
And while her husband is also, sadly, no longer with her, her mission will live on as long as she is able to sit behind her singer.
And I think it's important for us to keep on going as long as we can.
'Tis the season for trees and lights and the magic of Christmas. And what would Christmas be without Santa and his famous reindeer?
They're miracle animals, they really are.
Every December, these 9 reindeer visit Hershey Park.
They come here to vacation.
You know Dasher and Dancer.
Dasher's a little sweetheart.
But who you might not know.
Hi, how are you?
Is the woman who brings these magical animals
Now, if you were a reindeer
to life.
and you wanted to fight with somebody, they might not want to fight back, because what would happen with this point?
For 25 years, Denise Snyder has been a fixture at Santa's stables,
You can feel the antler if you want to.
taking care of the big man's reindeer.
My favorite part is the day they get here. The excitement. Oh, it's so cool. And seeing them come off the truck.
To her, it's a stroke of luck.
Well, when I was little, I was always drawing pictures of reindeer, but never in my life did I think that someday I'd even be next to one.
But take a closer look.
That's right.
And you'll see she lives and breeds these animals.
Reindeer socks, reindeer slippers, reindeer pajamas, reindeer underwear, reindeer everything. I have at least 60 pairs of earrings.
She knows and loves them all.
So they're all different. They all have different personalities, and it's just so much fun getting to know them. That's Comet. She's short and squat and wide. She's a troublemaker.
Anything you want to know about reindeer,
If you have any questions, just holler them out to me. Don't be shy. Do you want to feel them?
from the educational
And boys and girls get antlers in reindeer. Did you know that?
to the magical,
Which one's Rudolph? That's the main question we get.
she'll have an answer.
So that's Rudolph you're taking a picture of right now.
Where's his red nose?
Well, he'll turn it on when Santa wants him to.
And she loves her job,
I love it. I love what I do. It's so much fun.
bringing the joy of the holidays to kids from 1
When you get to talk to little children this time of the year and the questions you get, there's nothing like it. Do you have a favorite reindeer?
Yeah.
And who would that be?
Rudolph.
No kidding.
to 92.
This one right here is Dancer.
Oh, that's...
Look, can you see Dancer's eyes? Dancer has like white eyebrows. I had a lady that had a chaperone because she couldn't get around herself, and to see the joy in her eyes got to me.
She can't share every secret. She doesn't even know them all.
They fly because of what Santa feeds them. We're not allowed to feed them that. We don't even have the recipe. We sign a contract when we take the job to not do that.
But Snyder's determined to make sure what you see
Rudolph is usually up front because Rudolph really enjoys the crowd.
and even what you don't see
But I know that the reindeer come and they stand where their name is, and then Santa comes in, gives them a little bit of magic dust.
is truly magical.
I hope they take away the wonder of the animal world and the miracles of creation.
With photojournalist Anthony Durso,
Well, you know the magic of Christmas.
I'm Sonica Barco.
Anything can happen.
Skaters, go to the start. Ready. Go. Come on, Hill, come on, Hill, go.
The ice rink is Hillary McFadden's playground.
I like going really fast and feeling free on the ice.
It's just amazing what she can do. I wish I had some of the confidence she does.
Hillary competes in Special Olympics, winning dozens of medals in speed skating.
I like to go out there and inspire people, and it doesn't matter if you win, tie, or lose, but I know I tend to win.
Come on.
But she's more than meets the eye.
You're on it, you're on it.
On the ice, she can feel where she's at.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
She knows how many laps we've done.
Hillary is totally blind.
I can't imagine the amount of trust that she has.
Skating with her coaches as her guides, shouting out directions.
Left, 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 right there.
She's the only speed skater in the state with total loss of sight.
For once, she finally gets to do something and has, she's free. She can go fast as she wants.
It's one of the only times she doesn't have to touch someone or use a cane to be mobile.
But on the ice, as long as someone tells you where to go, you don't trip and fall over stuff.
There you go, good job.
And her family is behind her every stride.
There are a lot of things Hillary does that surprise us, but it's never unexpected because I expect her to do whatever she wants to do.
A lot of people in this world who are sighted, think that people who are blind are not capable, and that's not true. People who are blind are capable of doing anything they put their minds to.
With that in mind, Hillary created a business, making Braille menus for local restaurants in the Harrisburg area.
I would like blind people who go to restaurants to feel welcome.
At the end of the day, it's about believing that anyone can do anything.
Just, they take away inspiration. The story would inspire them. I would inspire them.
The small borough of Foxburg sits along the banks of the Allegheny River.
This area was very big in oil and gas back in the 1800s. And all these little towns around here back then were boom towns.
It was in 1874 when Joseph Mickle Fox, the grandson of the town's founder, journeyed to England for a series of cricket matches.
Then he ended up going to St. Andrews. He was befriended by old Tom Morse. Tom Morse made him clubs. He brought the clubs back to Pennsylvania. In 1884, he had an 8-hole golf course out of his state. It was too small. The course holes were too short. In 1887, he started building the course, and then it's been open ever since here.
Back then, the game of golf was only available to a small slice of society.
The only ones that played golf were the wealthy. People were playing in dresses, people had suits on.
And in those 135 years since, Foxburg Country Club has continued to operate.
We're the oldest in the United States. We have a 9-hole golf course open to the public. In today's terms, a short course, but with some of the tiniest greens probably in the country. It's only 3,400 yards for the 9 holes. There's 2 sets of tees. So you play it twice, you get your 18 in.
It has the unique features of the mounds in front of number 7, and they have big sand traps on a couple of the holes. When Joseph Mickle Fox designed the course, what he tried to do to design it like St. Andrews. The terrain didn't give you every hole like St. Andrews, but this hole here is a perfect replica like St. Andrews look. You have the fescue on the top, you have the deep bunker, but now we're realizing that, hey, we got something special here.
And that history is what brings Tom Johnson all the way to Foxburg from Ohio.
For me, it's the type of equipment that I enjoy using. Gloves are coarser, heavier. The grips are sheepskin. There's no lines on the face, so there's no grooves. The ball spins very little. It's absolutely the proper place to use it because it's one of the few places in this country that was available for that equipment, pre-1900 equipment.
And the history isn't just on the golf course. It's inside the clubhouse, which is home to the American Golf Hall of Fame.
And what we have here is a bunch of the old clubs that were made by different peoples in different eras. And you can see the 2 clubs on the very end. These clubs that old Tom Morse made. We have the history of the balls, from the feather ball the whole way up to the new balls up today.
It's a very unique course, and this is where golf in the United States began. So it's very historical when you just think of that fact. This is where it started.